Today, we're tackling the implementation of a new manufacturing execution system. It's called MV2.
Right, MV2.
We've got your source doc here, MV2 implementation timeline, what to expect. Our mission really is to pull out the core stuff. What does a good MV2 rollout actually look like? What makes it tick? Think of this as, your shortcut to understanding this pretty major operational change.
And it's a good document for that. It lays out a clear path. And we should probably mention the upside, right? What MV2 promises.
Good point.
Things like much better visibility into what's happening on the floor, improved efficiency, hopefully lower costs, and making smarter decisions because you have the data.
Okay, so let's dig into that framework. The document starts with key success factors. These seem like the foundational things, maybe less about the tech itself initially.
Exactly. And it's really interesting how much focus is right there on the people side, straight away. This isn't just software installation.
Right.
First up is executive sponsorship. Getting that real commitment from leadership. It drives everything. Alignment, resources, momentum.
Without it, things just fizzle out, I guess.
Totally. It's like trying to push something heavy uphill alone. You need that top-level pull.
Yeah.
Then there's the internal champion.
Okay, what's their specific role? Why is that important?
Well, this person is sort of the bridge, They get the business strategy, but they also really understand the production floor realities.
It connects the dots.
Precisely. They speak both languages, can flag potential issues, and make sure the system actually helps the people using it every day, translating the vision into, practical steps.
That makes a lot of sense. You need that translator. The doc also really hammers on having defined, measurable success criteria. Seems obvious. But why the heavy emphasis?
Because, well, how do you know if you're winning if you haven't defined what winning looks like? These clear targets let you track progress, show the actual value MV2 is bringing or isn't, maybe, and adjust course if needed. It's the difference between saying, let's get better and let's cut cycle time by 15% in 6 months.
Yeah.
Much clearer, right?
Definitely. And these big projects can feel overwhelming. The document mentions realistic expectations. Understanding its phase.
Yeah, and that's crucial. Digital transformation isn't a switch you just flip. It happens in stages.
Right.
Expecting everything to change overnight leads to frustration. It's about setting achievable goals for each phase, celebrating those wins, and building momentum. Steady progress.
Okay, and the last piece of this foundation is the change management strategy. Communication, training, getting people on board.
Absolutely fundamental. You could have the best system in the world, but if people don't get it, or don't want to use it, or don't see the benefit, well, it's useless.
So communication keeps everyone in the loop, addresses fears.
Exactly. And good training makes users feel confident, competent. It smooths the transition, minimizes disruption. I saw one rollout fail badly just because communication was so poor. Rumors started, resistance built up.
Yeah, avoidable problems. Okay, foundation is key. Let's move into phase 1, discovery and planning. This is where the strategy gets more concrete, yeah.
That's it. This phase is all about understanding where you are now and mapping out the initial plan. It starts with those first meetings, getting your team and the MV2 specialists together to define the project goals. What do you actually want to achieve?
And it mentions reviewing current processes and systems. It even calls out Dynamics 365 Business Central as an example. Why look backwards first?
Well, you need to know your starting point, don't you? You need to understand the current flow, the bottlenecks, the pain points, what works, what doesn't.
Right.
This review shows where MV2 can make the biggest difference, and critically, it helps understand your existing data and any integration challenges, like a doctor checking your history before treatment.
Okay, know the patient. This phase also involves identifying data collection points, machine connectivity integrations. Yeah. Sounds pretty technical. It gets technical here, yeah, but it's vital. Where will MV2 get its data? How will machines talk to the system? How does it connect to your ERP, like that Dynamics 365 example?
So planning the plumbing of the information flow.
Good way to put it. Getting those connections right up front is key for that seamless data flow, which is really the heart of an MES. Think sensors on machines, feeding data. You need to plan for that.
The document also brings up a governance structure and preparing an initial MV2 environment. Why so early?
Governance is about roles and responsibilities. Who decides what? Who manages the project? Clarity and accountability, and the initial environment. That's like your sandbox, a safe place to start configuring and testing MV2 without messing with your live operations. Practice before the game.
And the outcome of phase 1, all this work leads to a tailored, comprehensive implementation plan. Your detailed roadmap. It covers the scope, those success metrics we talked about, identifies risks, and outlines how to handle them. Your blueprint.
Okay, blueprint in hand. Phase 2. System configuration and integration. This is where we start building, right? Less talk, more action.
You got it. Now you take that plan and start making MV2 work for your specific operation. A big piece is mapping everything digitally, your equipment, your workflows, your work centers inside MV2.
And it mentions educating customers on MV2's capabilities. Who are the customers here? Internal users.
Yeah, almost certainly means your internal teams, the people who will actually use MV2. Getting them familiar with what it can do early on helps manage expectations, reduces anxiety, and builds buy-in.
Then setting up user roles, permissions, automated workflows. Sounds like getting the controls and efficiency pieces in place.
Exactly that. Roles and permissions are basic security, who sees what, who does what, and automating workflows. That's about streamlining things, cutting out manual steps, reducing errors, boosting efficiency.
And that Dynamics 365 integration pops up again. Seems pretty central.
It really is. Connecting MV2 tightly with your ERP creates one source of truth. Data flows back and forth in real time.
Eliminating silos.
Right. You get a complete picture from orders and materials to finished goods, better planning, better decisions across the board.
The doc also talks about connecting machines, using IoT, Industrial Internet of Things, for live data. That sounds like a game changer for real-time views.
Oh, it absolutely is. IoT means MV2 can pull data directly from your machines, live. You see production rates, machine status, potential issues as they happen.
Like a live dashboard of the whole shop floor.
Pretty much. It enables really proactive management, spotting bottlenecks, predicting maintenance needs, huge potential.
And Phase 2 wraps up with a fully configured MV2 test environment. Why test? Why not just go live?
Whoa, hold on. The test environment is your safety net. It's where you thoroughly check everything, the configuration, the integrations, the workflows, before it touches live production.
Catch the glitches beforehand.
Exactly. Find the problems in a controlled space, fix them, and then you think about going live. Much smoother, much less risky. Always better to find issues during rehearsal than opening night.
Makes total sense. Okay, worked out the kinks. Now Phase 3. Testing, training, and go live. The final stretch.
This is it. The big push to get MV2 operational. Testing here is rigorous, validating data accuracy, confirming workflows match reality, checking system performance under load.
And it mentions user acceptance testing, UAT, with stakeholders participating, getting the actual users involved.
Absolutely critical. They're the ones who have to live with it. UAT confirms MV2 meets their needs, works the way they work. Their feedback is gold for those final tweaks.
Ensures it actually fits the real world.
If the users aren't happy, if it makes their job harder, adoption is going to be a massive uphill battle.
And the training piece. Sounds like a big emphasis here.
It has to be. Solid training, good support materials, they're essential. You want users feeling confident and ready from day one. It reduces resistance, helps them see the benefits faster.
And then, go live. The document says a controlled go live, with experts on site. Sounds cautious.
Smart cautious. A controlled rollout minimizes risk, maybe one line, then another. And having experts there provides instant support if unexpected issues pop up, like having the pit crew ready.
And it's not just flip the switch, we're done. There's feedback and adjustments after go live.
Definitely not done. Go live is really the starting line for the new way of working. You have to collect that initial user feedback, what's working, what's clunky. Then you make adjustments, fine-tuning based on real-world use.
So end of Phase 3. MV2 is up, running, teams are using it in real time. Mission accomplished.
Well, yes and no. The system is operational, which is huge. But the document rightly points out what comes next. Beyond go live, continuous optimization. Implementation isn't really a one-off project.
So it's an ongoing thing.
Precisely. The real magic starts after go live, when you have actual data flowing in. That's when you analyze it, look for opportunities to optimize further, streamline a workflow, improve resource use, whatever the data suggests.
And it mentions expanding MV2. Other lines, other factories.
Yeah, it's designed to scale. If it proves valuable in one area, you can replicate that success elsewhere in the business, maximize the benefit across the board.
And adopting advanced features. Deeper analytics over time. What might that involve?
Things like predictive maintenance using data to fix machines before they break, or more sophisticated quality analytics to find root causes of problems. Advanced scheduling tools. As your team gets better with MV2, you can unlock these deeper capabilities.
Driving more value continuously.
And the document stresses periodic reviews too, making sure MV2 still aligns with your business goals, still delivering value. It's a living system.
Okay, so it's quite a journey. The document helpfully includes some advice. Getting ready for your MV2 journey. This is for you, the listener. What are the key takeaways here?
First thing, document your current state. Really map out your workflows, know them inside out, and critically identify your pain points. What are you trying to fix?
Know thyself, basically. Understand the problems first. What else?
Get the right people involved early. Key stakeholders production, IT, leadership, get them talking, get them aligned. Shared ownership is vital.
And define success for your organization. Right, back to those metrics.
Absolutely. What does good look like for you? Increased output, fewer defects, better inventory turns. Nail that down. It's your compass.
Lastly, it mentions building a culture of open communication and flexibility. Sounds like general good advice for any change.
It is, but it's especially important here. Be ready to talk about challenges openly. Be flexible as processes evolve. Change isn't always easy, so that adaptable mindset makes a huge difference.
Makes sense. Okay, the document wraps up with a clear call to action. It invites you, the listener, to contact the implementation team ISE for a demo.
Yep, see it in action.
The contact info is info@is-erp.com, or phone is 262-567-9240. So if this sounds interesting for your shop floor, that's who you reach out to.
A chance to see how it might fit your specific needs.
All right, so let's pull this all together. This deep dive into the MV2 timeline shows a really structured approach, doesn't it?
It really does.
Starts with that solid foundation sponsorship, champion, clear goals, realistic outlook, change management, then moves through the phases. Discovery and planning.
Laying the groundwork.
Configuration and integration.
Building the system.
And testing, training, go live.
Making it operational.
But, crucially, remembering it doesn't stop there. Continuous optimization is key.
Yeah, what really stands out is that balance, between the big strategic picture and the very practical step-by-step execution. It's not just tech, it's reshaping operations. Requires thought, collaboration.
Okay, so a final thought for you, our learner, to chew on. Looking at this whole process, especially those key success factors right at the start, what steps could you take now, proactively, in your own organization to strengthen those foundations before an implementation like this even kicks off? How much smoother could your digital transformation be if you really nail down that sponsorship, find that champion, and define success up front? Something to think about.